Hello everyone, it's Alma from AgriKids. Welcome to another AgriKids Farm Safe Storytime. I hope you're all ready for another trip to Riverside Farm because we have something really big to show you. In today's story, we're going to find out what happened when the big brown bull came to stay at Riverside Farm. So I hope you're all nice and comfy and ready for the story to begin. Farms are great places to live. You can look at tractors and plows all day long. You can see where milk comes from, hold a baby lamb in your arms, collect fresh eggs, or pull potatoes straight from the ground and make the most delicious chips. Tom and Sarah love living at Riverside Farm, and they loved it even more since meeting their magical hedge sprite friend, Mr Brambles. One evening, the children were watching some television before going to bed. "What's that?" said Sarah, pointing at the screen. "It's a bulldozer," said Tom. "Is it?" said Sarah. "Why is it all blurry and fuzzy? I think our telly's broken." "Our telly's not broken," said Mammy. "Sarah, I think you might need glasses." "Glasses," said Sarah. "I don't need glasses." Said Mam. "I think you do." "I know. I'll make an appointment with Dr. Specs and we will go into town tomorrow." "But I can't wear glasses," said Sarah. I can't run around or climb trees with glasses on." "Oh, Sarah," said Mammy, "don't be so ridiculous. Of course you can. You'll be able to do all those things and so much more." The next morning, Sarah was still feeling very grumpy. She sulked all the way in the back of the car as her and Mammy made their way to Dr. Specs. Meanwhile, back at the farm, Daddy had something very special to show Tom. "Come on," said Dad. "I have something really big to show you in the shed." Together they went into the shed, where inside was the biggest animal Tom had ever seen. A new brown bull had come to stay at Riverside Farm, and he was enormous. He had a beautiful brown coat and a gorgeous tail that swished from side to side. Tom looked closer. What's that in his nose?" he said. "Why is he wearing a ring in his nose? Does that not hurt him, Dad?" "Oh, no, not at all," said Dad. "In fact, it's much easier to lead and handle a bull when they have a nose ring in. Now, Tom, bulls can be very cranky and very dangerous, so I don't want you to get hurt. So as myself and Jack move this new brown bull into the backfield, I want you to stand to one side." Standing to one side, Tom watched his dad and Jack the farmhand move the new bull into the backfield. As soon as Daddy had closed the gate, Tom ran to get a closer look. The bull was happily grazing on the beautiful grass, snorting through his big nostrils and swishing away the flies with his fantastic tail. "Remember, Tom," said Dad, "you're not allowed to go into the backfield. Bulls can run very fast, especially when they're angry." To make sure nobody went into the backfield where the bull was, Daddy had made a special sign. He had written "Beware of the Bull" in bright red paint. But just as Daddy was about to hang the sign, he looked over to the red tractor where the back wheel was as flat as a pancake. "Oh no," said Dad, "we'd better fix that. Come on, Tom, you can lend a hand." Daddy set off to fix the flat tire, forgetting all about hanging up the brand new sign. Meanwhile, back at the farmhouse, Sarah was looking at herself in the mirror. Her new glasses were very round and very pink, and she hated them. "I'm not wearing these," she said. They're pinching my nose and they're hurting my ears." "Don't be so silly, Sarah," said Mammy. "You'll quickly get used to them. Why don't you go outside and take a good look around? You'll see how clear everything looks and realize how fabulous your new glasses are." "But don't go too far," said Mam, "because I'm making a chocolate cake for tea and it'll be ready soon." Sulking and grumping, Sarah went outside, Meg the sheepdog following behind her. She says, "I'm not wearing these glasses." Sarah took her new glasses off and put them into her pocket. Suddenly, Mrs. Kelly's cat from next door dashed past her. Sarah could see the cat okay, but so did Meg, who loved nothing more than to chase after Whiskers the cat. "Roo, roo, 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 roo." Meg began to growl and bark, and she took off after Whiskers down the lane. "Come on, Meg," shouted Sarah. "Come back here. I really really don't have time for this today. But Meg kept on running, barking all the way. Poor Whiskers found a little gap in the hedge and quickly dashed under it into the field. Meg squiddled under the gap too and ran straight after her. But fortunately for Sarah, she couldn't fit into the gap, so she went to look for a gate. She was feeling very cross now, very cross indeed. As she approached the gate, she looked out to see if there were any signs hanging up. Her dad had always told them to make sure to never go into a field where signs were up. Seeing that there were no signs in place, Sarah jumped over the gate and landed on the other side. Meg, you're a very naughty girl, she shouted. She was really cross now, Sarah, and so cross because she was going to be late for the chocolate cake. In fact, Sarah was thinking so hard about the chocolate cake that at first she didn't notice a brown blob in the corner of the field. But as she got in and closer, she began to realize there was something standing in the corner, something big and something brown. What's that, she thought, squinting her eyes to get a closer look. As she slowed down, though, she soon realized that the blob was not a blob. The blob was a big brown bull, and he didn't look happy at all. Sarah knew bulls could be dangerous and very cranky, and even though Sarah was the fastest runner in her class, not even she was faster than a bull. Meanwhile, back at the farmyard, they quickly had the tire mended. And as they lifted the tire back into place, Jack hopped into the front and drove the tractor to the shed out the back, delighted that they'd managed to fix the flat tire. Here you go, Tom, said Dad, handing him the spanners and the wrenches. You pop them back into my Jeep and wait for me there. As Tom made his way to Daddy's Jeep, he saw Meg sitting in the front seat. She was panting as if she'd been doing a lot of running. What are you doing here? He yelled, and then patting his lovely dog with a lovely gentle pat on the head. What are you doing here? Oh, said Tom, you must have come down with Mam and Sarah. Were you coming down to see the new brown bull? They went to the back gate to see where the bull could be. But instead of seeing his sister and his mother, Tom saw his sister standing in the field, the bull staring her down. What was Sarah doing in there? Tom knew he couldn't shout at her because that would make the bull even angrier. But seeing that his little mistress was in trouble, Meg ran straight into the field, barking all the way. Row, 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 row. Well, this made the bull very angry. Not only was there somebody trespassing in his field, now he had a dog barking and shouting and making noises at him. He began to shake his head from side to side and soon began to scrape the ground with his hoof. Soon he lowered his head and began to charge straight for Sarah and straight for Meg. Well, Meg quickly got out of there and she quickly dashed to safety, but Sarah was stuck to the spot, stuck with fear, unable to move a single inch. Thump, thump, thump went the bull's hooves on the ground as he got closer and closer to Sarah. Tom knew there was no time to get Daddy or Jack. In fact, there was only one person who could help Sarah now, Mr. Brambles. You have to call Mr. Brambles a very special way. And the rhyme that always helped the children remember was, should you ever be in fear, call 3 times and I will hear. Tom closed his eyes and said, Mr. Brambles, Mr. Brambles, Mr. Brambles, please don't let it be too late. Thump, thump, thump. The hooves grew closer and closer to Sarah. But suddenly, just as the bull was about to reach Sarah and surely squish her into the ground, he soared straight up into the air and right over Sarah's head. Run, Sarah, run! And run she did, all the way to safety. Went the bull as he soared through the air before landing on the ground on his bottom with a gentle thud. Sarah quickly climbed over the gate and got to safety where her brother was. Suddenly, on her shoulder appeared Mr. Brambles. Oh, Sarah, he said, are you okay? Oh, I think so, said Sarah, her voice shaky with fear. My, said Mr. Brambles, that bull was a very angry fellow. Suddenly, the children heard another voice. It was Daddy. Tom, where are you? They could hear him shouting. I'm over here, Dad, cried out Tom. Mr. Brambles fluttered his ears and disappeared. He couldn't let the grown-ups see him. What are you two doing over here? He asked the children. Said Tom, I came and I saw Sarah was in the field and I came to try and make sure she got out safely and I was afraid she was going to get... Sarah, said Dad, what are you doing in the field with the bull? Did you not see the... Suddenly Dad remembered. I'd never put the sign up, he said, to warn people. Oh my goodness, Sarah. But hang on a minute. Don't you have new glasses? Did you not see the bull in the field? No, said Sarah. Sorry, Dad, I didn't have my glasses on. Said Dad. Sarah, you need to put your glasses on. In fact, why don't you put your glasses on and why don't we all hang up this sign so that nobody goes into the field with the big brown bull? From the far end of the field, Mr. Brambles and the big brown bull watched them as they worked. Now, remember what I said, Mr. Brambles. You really need to watch your manners. The bull snorted and grumped. Oh, now, said Mr. Brambles, don't be so rude. You're a very, very lucky bull, you know. You live at Riverside Farm. You're a very lucky bull indeed. Sarah put on her glasses and stood back to read the sign. Beware of the bull, she said loud and proud. She could definitely see that sign, so maybe her new glasses weren't that bad after all. From behind the shed, Jack appeared. He was scratching his head. Do you know what? He said. I could have sworn I just saw a flying bull. A flying bull, said Daddy. Oh, Jack, he says, I think you might need glasses. The children giggled. The secret of Mr. Brambles was still safe. Come on, said Dad. I think it's time we all went home. We've had enough adventures and drama for one day. I've also heard a rumor that there's chocolate cake being made. As they climbed into the car, the children happily thought of how big their slice of chocolate cake was going to be. Now, do we all understand how important it is to stay safe when we visit a farm, especially when there's animals? I really, really hope you enjoyed today's story. And remember to check out story number 3, where we hear all about the red tractor. But until then, guys, I want you to remember to be farm safe and to stay farm safe. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.